see this post. This is one, Natalia, that you pulled up earlier that said, this is a teacher. It says, teachers claim entire class of second grade students changed their pronouns and it's being kept a secret from unsafe, that's in quotation marks, that's her quotation mark. I don't know how she identifies adults. All right, so let's give it a shot to play this video. We're having a little tech issue here today, so be patient with us. But we're going to try to play this video and see what happens.
I'm going to make this TikTok without crying, because that's what I do. Please ignore the dog bone crunching behind me. Anyhow, one of my students felt safe enough to share his pronouns with me. And when he did so, once the class knew that I knew, they all switched pronouns. They're second graders. Like, I'm torn between being really, really happy to be a safe space and just absolutely furious that an entire group of second graders has to keep this secret from not safe
Okay, let's
people.
pause this for a second. So what horrifies me about it is that she doesn't understand what a second grader is. You understand how this story played out? This is a teacher to second graders. Second graders are 7, 8 years old. You know a 7 or 8 year old in your life? You got a kid that's 7 or 8. You had a kid that was 7 or 8. You teach a kid that's 7 or 8. Niece or nephew 7 or 8. You've met a 7 or 8 year old. Okay, so essentially what happens here is that one student shares, his or her pronouns with the teacher. All the kids find out, and then all the kids start saying that. Like, oh, what's her name said she's a boy. I'm a boy too. Can you just see how this, second grade, see how this could go? I mean, my kid sits in front of me. I'm not kidding. We read Curious George, and I'm like, I read a line like, where's my little monkey? I'm a monkey, he says. He wants to be a monkey. He loves George. He's a child. He's 2.5, granted. He's not 7 or 8. Think about a 7 or 8 year old. So she hasn't grasped that maybe this is just about kids not really understanding the depth of this concept. And they're just like, I'm a boy, I'm a girl, I'm a boy, I'm a boy. Like, they don't really get it, right? They're like, oh, somebody just read me a story about a boy who X, Y, Z. Maybe I'm a boy. Okay, I'm a boy. Call me a boy. Okay? She's assuming that there's a depth of understanding that cannot happen. That cannot be processed in 7 or 8th grade, 8-year-old, mind, or 7th or 8th grade for that matter, in many capacities. If you've dealt with 7th or 8th graders, separate conversation. But these are second graders, which is even more ridiculous. Okay, let's just finish the rest of the video, please, Natalia, when you get a second.
Why are kids feeling unsafe? And furthermore, why does everyone talk about how are the kids going to understand? The kids fucking understand it. It's easy for them. It's the adults who have all of the frigging issues and hang-ups and bullshit. Kids are fine.
It's clearly the children that understand this issue in great capacity. She immediately assumed that these kids felt unsafe. Like, well, they were withholding this information. Second grade. I keep saying it because you need to understand, second grade. We're not talking about high schoolers here. It's a very different conversation. You're talking about high schoolers. You're talking about second graders here. The assumption was that these second graders had such a complexity of mind that they said, we feel unsafe. Let me withhold this information. Oh, that student shared it. So now, and the whole class just starts changing their pronouns. That doesn't seem odd to you? That the whole class just kind of chimed in and was just like, oh yeah, I'm going to change my pronoun. People aren't allowed to talk about the social component of this, right? Because it goes against woke ideology. You're supposed to just accept that even though all of this woke stuff is being shoved down kids' throats in school 24 hours a day, you're supposed to accept that it's not odd that you have so many more kids now coming out and saying, well, I'm not a boy, I'm a girl, I'm not a this, at very, very young ages, and that there can't possibly be a correlation between them being flooded with this stuff all day long and the fact that their little minds just say, oh, well, maybe I'm this or maybe I'm that, and can't process this at the level that an adult can. Isn't it something like your brain's not fully formed? Natalia, check this for me. I think it's like your brain's not at full adult capacity till you're like 25. I think it's 25. These are impressionable little second graders, okay? Where is the adult in the room? Where is the adult in the room? Is she supposed to be it? God help us. Seriously, God help us. Is it 25? I think it's 25 or 20. Yeah, it's 25 until the age of 25. Okay. Second grade, y'all. Okay. So again, this needs to be discussed in a different way because there's people in society that are treating these little kids like adults. And you've got puberty blockers coming into play now. You've got gender surgeries coming into play. You've got medications coming into play. You've got stuff that they say, oh, everything's reversible. Well, there's a lot of doctors that say maybe it's not all reversible, or what are the implications? You got a lot of parents asking questions, but you've got a lot of stuff coming into play here that's quite serious. It's not just I identify as a different gender, end of story. There's stuff coming into play that's actually altering the physicality, the hormones of children in order to support what a very small child might say one day and not even understand. Okay, so we need to be willing and able to have this conversation, that this is not functional adult commentary on this. If you're talking about second graders and saying, of course they can understand everything, it's the adults that are well, you're part of the problem. If you like the short clip, you can catch another one here, or you can catch the full episode right here.